Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. Yes, a bit different there because it's Remembrance Sunday, and I'm doing a minute set this day. So rather than playing the intro, I just put a minute with just a couple of pictures there as a show of respect for people who have fought in wars for us and helped save our country. Okay, so today it's the match review. Yes, after yesterday's game at the Vitality Stadium, I'm joined by Rolly. Okay, if you do like what you see, please do smash that like. It does help the channel to search. So please come and smash the like, and means new viewers can find the channel more easily. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and subscribe and join this great community we have here. 61 subscribers away from 1100. Also, hitting that bell tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows. If you want to become a member, it is 99p. Just click the join button to do that. And if you want to make a donation, you can do that in the chat by clicking on the $sign, as all money goes back into the channel to produce these great shows for everybody concerned. Right, I'm just going to quickly go into some comments first of all, and then we'll get on with the show. Afternoon, Tony says, Bia, good afternoon to you. Bia, I hope you're well. Lewis says, we will remember them. Absolutely, Lewis, definitely. Afternoon, Uncle Rolly says, Bia. Lewis says, they protect our country and Commonwealth. Absolutely. Mary, she says, hi, Tony and Rolly. Hope you're both well. Yeah, absolutely, Mary. Hope you're well too. Right, okay. So yesterday, we got to Bournemouth. We've got an injury list. We know there's an injury list. We know Callum Wilson come off with a tightness on his hamstring again on Tuesday night. Now, with playing Tuesday, we thought, yeah, it's a little bit of an advantage because at least we can go into this game having an extra day. But then you've got to take into consideration the travel time. I know it's only just over an hour from Dortmund. Flight time wise. So yesterday the team come out and we saw Lewis Miley making his debut. Well, first start actually. Youngest at 17 years of age. We also had Ben Parkinson on the bench along with Diallo. So we knew we were really stretched when you look at that team. But then you look at that team and think it's still a team that's capable of winning this game. Bournemouth, that was their team. My jaw I sort of dropped when I saw Neto was playing because I just thought I can't believe he's back fit already. Because every time he plays against us, he has a blinder, and it was one keeper I did not want to see in goal was Neto. So my heart sort of sank thinking, oh, not him in goal. But you look at that team and you think, yeah, we can do them. We can do them. So look, the game goes. Look, Sean Longstaff had a shot in the first half, which was superbly saved by Neto. He tipped it over the bar. We lost Almiron in that first half. He came off. Richie come on. This is how stretched we are. We just did not look at the races in that first half, in all honesty. Bournemouth tested us. Paul pulled off a few saves, one from a well-known son of a player that used to play for us. Yes, Justin Clivert, but, his dad, Patrick, played for us. And he forced Pope into a great save. Semenyo was a bit of a nuisance. And they were causing us problems and they were playing us in our game. I've never, coming into this game, Bournemouth had conceded 27 goals, and I thought, yes, okay, we've got a chance here. Let's take it. And like I say, we were lucky to get in that. We're getting at half time 0-0. Second half came. To be honest, we didn't really offer a lot. I thought Trippier's display wasn't the best, to be honest with you. We took Lewis Hall off at half time brought Livramento on. I think Livramento should have started, in all honesty. If I'm honest, I would have rather had Livramento starting ahead of Almiron. If I'm honest with you, that's what I would have liked to have seen. But he came on. He couldn't really do a lot for us, could he? They took the lead through Solanke. An unfortunate ricochet went into the path of Solanke, and he scored. But, you know, your question, should Pope have done better at his near post? Yes, he should have. He didn't do enough for me to get near it. He could have got near that, and he could have done something about it. Maybe he might not have saved it, but at least he made. You know, I still think he could have done a little bit more, but it went in. You know, and then they went 1-0 up. Then I was hoping for a resurgence from us, but I couldn't see it because the team just looked absolutely dead on their feet, if I'm honest. And then they get a second goal from the corner. Nothing Pope can do about it. It's from close range. He can't do anything about that. There's a VAR check. Was it a handball? It's inconclusive. You can't really tell. I couldn't tell if it was handball or not, in all honesty. If it was handball, then yes, it should have been ruled out. But as I say, if I couldn't tell it was handball, VAR couldn't tell it was handball, then, you know, but Pope did pull off some more good saves in the second half. He kept the score down, Nick Pope. If it wasn't for Nick Pope, we probably would have lost that game about 4 or 5-0. That would have been embarrassing. I mean, look, we saw Longstaff go down. It looked a bit innocuous how he went down. Then he came back on the pitch, and I'm like, oh, is he all right then? And then we saw Lascelles go in with a scissor kick on Bournemouth player, but thankfully it wasn't a red card because it wasn't. VAR looked at it and said it was reckless, not dangerous, and that's why the yellow card stood. And I just thought, do you know what? It's a bad day at the office for us. Wasn't the greatest of games. Bournemouth, you could say, deserved that win because of the way they played. But then I look at that and say, if we had a fully fit squad, they'd get nowhere near us. We hammer them. We hammer them well. We would have smashed them off the park yesterday with a fully fit team. And they took advantage of the fact that we've had to come back from Dortmund, the fact that we've got an injury list, and for some reason, they haven't been playing that well. So how's a Spanish manager all of a sudden made them play like that? It was like, do you know what it reminded me of yesterday? It didn't remind me of a Premier League game. It reminded me of an FA Cup tie, because that's the feel it had to it with the fans, the way the fans were. It had that feel of an FA Cup tie. I could say it was probably a good old-fashioned Premier League game because that's exactly what it was. There was tackles flying in everywhere. But as I say, if we had a fully fit squad, we smashed them off the park. They don't even get near our goal. And they wouldn't, if we had a fully fit squad, they wouldn't have dared played the way they did against us because we would have took them to the cleaner simply. And I think that's where that's where Adoni, the manager, Adoni Ariola, I think that's where he looked at this and said, look, that team's knackered. Get out there and press them and intensify your game against them because play them at their game. And that's exactly what he did. And it worked for them. And do you know what? I say a fair play to Bournemouth. You deserve to win. You'll not get it easy when you come to St James's Park, that's for sure. But you know, I mean, look, you see, then at the end of the match, things didn't look great. I mean, we had a fan in the crowd deciding to take it out on Trippier, and this is what. So, I mean, look, the fan having to go Trippier's going over and he's saying, look, the lads have given everything. How many injuries have we got? Which is right. I mean, look, I don't think I've ever seen a team have as many players out as we've got out. I mean, we've got 11 players out now. If Longstaff's been assessed now, so that could be 12 out now. Although his is minor, I reckon. But thankfully, he should hopefully be back after the international break. But the thing is, though, I've never seen an injury list like this. 11 players out injured. And look, I don't want to sit here and people think, oh, I'm being negative when I say this. But look, it's great being in the Champions League. Yeah, it's what we all dream. We want a team to be playing in the best competitions. In all honesty, if we get knocked out of the Champions League, in some ways, I'm not bothered, because I'll tell you why I'm not bothered. Because at least our squad will not be playing them extra games, and we can concentrate on getting up that Premier League table, and we can keep players fitter as well. I think it's draining them. I think it's shown when you look at the squad, how thin the squad is now with all the injuries we've got. I think it's shown that really this season, I don't think we were ready for the Champions League. I know a lot of people might say, whoa, hang on a minute, we are ready for the Champions League. I don't think we are. I know Tonali's out because of what's happened with the betting thing. That's fair enough. But I don't think we're ready for the Champions League this season, in all honesty. And we've enjoyed the ride. We've had a great time. Look, we've got to go out there and beat PSG in Milan to qualify for the next round. Even if we don't beat PSG, but we beat Milan, we could even end up in the Europa League. So look, but I'm just more worried about the amount of injuries we've got. I think in January we definitely need another striker, because I'm sorry, but look, as much as I like Callum Wilson and Alexander Isak, but Callum Wilson more is made of glass, because look, he's come off again with another hamstring injury. It's just, and I'm hoping that Southgate will not be taking him to England camp now. I hope Wilson's told Southgate, I'm sorry, but I can't make it because I'm injured. I couldn't play yesterday, so I won't be playing for England. But we do need another striker in January, because we're looking really short up front now. Gordon could only do as much as he could do. Maybe he could have done better with the shot he had when it went straight into the arms of Neto. If he'd looked to his right, he had Longstaff there. He could have knocked it to Longstaff. I don't blame him having the shot. It was on target, but unfortunately it was straight at the goalkeeper and straight down his throat. So all day that's bread and butter for Neto. Before I get to Rowley anyway, I'm going to go into some comments, because the comments have come flying in. So we'll see what people have said. I'll keep an eye on the Liverpool score because I'm watching it. Okay, Lewis. He says, what a day for Lewis Smiley making his Premier League debut, age 17. Absolutely. I thought he looked good. He played well. To be fair, our players look like they're on 30% energy. Yeah, they just didn't look at the races yesterday. Absolutely. Bournemouth exposed our tiredness and lack of players through high intensity. We look flat. We did beer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ryan says, hi, Ryan. He says, these past two games I've been sick of seeing Hall coming off at half-time. Stop with this inverted fullback idea, how it doesn't work. The balance was gone at the moment Hall came off. Yeah, I wasn't too impressed with that, to be honest. I mean, look, I understood why he took Hall off on Tuesday, because he could have got another yellow card and sent off. But I didn't understand why he took him off yesterday, because I didn't think he played too bad, to be fair. Lewis says there was an obstruction on Pope. Hammers are winning 1-0. Mary says, just out of curiosity, how bad was the ref? What, yesterday?
I don't think it's too bad.
I don't think he was that bad. No, he seemed to let the game flow. Ryan says, all good.
Big.
Yeah. Alan says, afternoon, I was not to be, played poor, just one game, keep in context, long season, get some players back. Yeah, I mean, look, after the international break, there'll probably be a couple of players who'll come back. Alan, I mean, we should have Isak back. Harvey Barnes maybe even back. We don't know. He's on grass now, apparently, which is good news. So he's got 2 weeks to get sorted out. Callum Wilson, if he doesn't go on the England camp, then he should be back and fit. If I was Eddie Howe, I'd be seeing every player that's in international duty, like Cher, Bruno, Joe Linton, Trippier, you're not going, you're staying. But you can't obviously do that. You're not allowed to, because then you get into trouble off FIFA if you do that, if they're not injured. Ryan says, Tony, it's not being negative, it's just saying what you actually think. Cheers, Ryan. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm just trying to be real. That's all I'm trying to be, is a realist. Look, as much as I love the fact we finished fourth last season, we ended up in the Champions League. But when I just look at the squad we've got, we're restricted with FFP. We haven't got the squads anywhere near what Man City, Liverpool have. And this is the problem. This is the problem. We're not up to their standard of squads yet, because if you look at Man City, they can play two teams. They could put out reserve side against Bournemouth and beat them. I mean, Jeremy Doku, 19, first season in the Premier League, and he absolutely took Bournemouth apart last week with a goal and 4 assists. I mean, that guy, one hell of a player. And Howe's on about recalling Minty maybe in January. Well, I tell you what, bring him back in January. Absolutely, why not? He's done well for Feyenoord. Yes, he's injured at the moment, and he has been back in Newcastle being assessed. So, again, we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. BS Eddie says in the post-match he won't be going. Yeah. Callum, I'm not giving up on the UCL. The group is wide open after that Milan win. Yes, absolutely, Ryan. I mean, look, I'm not giving up on it. Look, I'll be happy if we get out the group and go through, but I'm just worried about the cost of injuries that that we've had with it all. That's all I'm thinking about, is the injury cost. We just need to get so many fitting back. But the thing is, though, by the time we play, we've got Chelsea, because we'll have 8 games in 24 days after the international break. That's a lot of games. Including the 2 Champions League games and the Chelsea game in the Carabao Cup as well. Callum Wilson's pulled out. Alan says, nah, Tony, we have competed every team in the champs, so not early in my opinion, just need to get there next season. Yeah, I mean that's fair enough, Alan. And yeah, I think we can finish in the top 4 again this season. We can still do it. I know we've lost 4 games already, but we can still do it. So look, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm just worried with all these injuries we've had. BS says, Eddie said 4 weeks for Callum Wilson. There we are. We need another striker in January. As much as I like Callum Wilson and he scores goals and he's a great goal scorer, but he's far too injury prone, and it's proven it now. Lewis says 1-0 Liverpool. They did score, but Far's given it offside, so it's 0-0. Foxy says, credit to Bournemouth, regardless of injuries, no excuses from me. They destroyed us. Absolutely, Foxy, they did. I don't know where they come out with that, where they got that game from all of a sudden, Bournemouth, because they've looked absolutely shocking. And you would have thought, after being hammered 6-1 by Manchester City last week, that they would have been in a sorry state. And you think it was us who had been taken apart and hammered last weekend, not Bournemouth. You'd think Bournemouth were on a winning run. You'd think they were title contenders the way they were playing yesterday, I'm not saying they are title contenders, because they're relegation contenders, and I still think Bournemouth will drop this season. BS says, anyone with over 40 plus away member points is on the bench against Chelsea. Ryan says, England can qualify for the Euros without Wilson and Trippier, whereas Almiron is crucial for Paraguay if they want to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. We'll see if he travels. yeah, I mean, look, we don't know it didn't look good for Miggy. I suppose it depends on the severity of his hamstring, but England's already qualified for the Euros anyway, because when they beat Italy, they qualified. So these games against North Macedonia and Malta, although you could say they're dead rubbers, but to Southgate, they're probably not dead rubber because you want to win both and finish on as many points as you can. You know, I think if we beat them two, which we should beat North Macedonia, to be fair, and Malta, should take Malta apart at Wembley, to be fair. I mean, look, let's see what happens, but yeah, we'll see what happens with Miggy. I don't see it. Definitely need a striker. Isak seems to be a miss a bit through injury. 3 months last season, yeah, he did, and but then he came back and he's played all right. But again, is it Eddie Howe risking him again when he came off? So I don't know if Eddie Howe just risks players too much sometimes, like he did with Jacob Murphy. He played and then he dropped his shoulder again. Now he's had surgery and he's out for 8 and 9 weeks now. While he recovers from that. Late December is the call on Elliot Anderson now. So, and Foxy says Paraguay have no chance. He says they're worse than Venezuela now, second worst national team in South America. Only Bolivia are worse. I remember when England beat Paraguay 3-0. I think it was 86 when Bielsa scored, didn't he? Liverpool score again and Vars giving it offside again. I've got the West Ham game on. I mean, look, West Ham went ahead through a defensive error from the Forest player and it went straight in the path of Paqueta, who just hit it from outside the box and scored. But yeah, I thought Forest might win. Well, still plenty of time in this game. I think Forest could win this game. Right, Rolly. First of all, if there's anybody just come on, so I'll just quickly put this back on. But I want your thoughts on this anyway. So, Rolly, I mean, look, we saw that fan have a go at Trippier. Villa are 1-0 up, by the way. A known goal from Robinson. We saw Trippier go over to the fan. The fan had a go at Trippier. I think Trippier was right what he said. I think he came from the heart. Look, the lads have done well. How many injuries have we got? He's absolutely spot on. The fan has since apologised. He's obviously put it on Twitter and said, look, I'm very, very sorry. And, it was a long day. And apparently he is a home and away fan. So he's not like a plastic fan as such. So you can understand people's frustrations after the game because getting beat off Bournemouth, we shouldn't be getting beat off Bournemouth in all honesty. What was your take on that, what you saw there, Rolly?
I think it's frustration on both sides. I think Trips was, it's just one of those things you get someone giving you stick and it's sort of like the wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. You bite because nobody wouldn't. But I think that's born out of frustration from the way the game went, the way the team played, the way he played. And I just think it was a little bit... It wasn't anything sort of... There's no vitriol. It's just saying, look, we're putting everything in. Look at the injuries we've got, which is all true. The frustration of the fans because it wasn't a great performance. It's probably the worst performance since, I would say the Leeds game in Eddie's first season. When he went after the takeover. I think that's probably the worst performance we've had. I think it was, there's a lot of frustration all around, not just the performance, getting another injury as well. But he, in his interview after the game, he put it all right. So I was just having a conversation with a fan. I understand they come all the way, pay all the money to watch us, and yeah, he sort of poured water on any potential fire. So I don't have a problem with it. It's all a bit of, as I say, handbags.
Yeah. I think it's fair enough the fans apologised and said, look, it's been a long
Yeah, I
day.
think
And I understand where he's coming from. I mean, I've been there myself, really, when the team, has had bad times. And I'm going back to like when Ozzy Ardiles was manager and we give him the player stick because it happens, it happens. Um, uh, because where I stand near the dugout. And I give all Ozzy Ardiles a mouthful one day because I was sick of the way we would just keep losing games. And I told him what I thought of him, and he just looked. He didn't say anything. He just looked.
the thing I'd say about I personally don't believe that any players go out thinking, "Oh, I can't be asked to play." I think they do try, but it's the confidence they have at the time. In our case, it's the fatigue, and there's always a reason for why teams play badly, and I don't think it's about that. Sometimes it's that. I mean, we've seen it in relegation season. It's that, oh, here we go again, and the heads drop. It's not because they're not trying; it's just they realise, oh, shit's happening again, and then they sort of they lose the confidence to do anything, and then they don't want the ball because they're not confident with what they're going to do. And it's all around things like that. It's not a lack of desire or effort. It's a mental thing. In most cases, be that you consistently losing or you're tired. In our case, it's never about putting the effort in. That's in my book. I would like to think that all professional footballers, when they cross the line, go out and set out to play to win or play to their manager's instructions at least. If they win or not is a different matter. I mean, I thought today,
Yeah.
I think you're being harsh on the squad, saying that we're not ready for the Champions League. Can you name me a squad other than Manchester City in the Premier League who could take the injuries that we've got and still be a force? And don't say Liverpool because I will disagree with you. There isn't one. There isn't one. No one can take the injuries that we've had and be play the number of games that we've played and be pummeling everybody apart from Manchester City. And then that bench would be awful.
Yeah, but when you look at what our bench is now, I mean, look, we had to put Ben Parkinson on. I mean, look, I thought he played all right. He annoyed Neto yesterday. Neto didn't like him, did he? Because he kept standing in the way of Neto.
Yeah, I mean,
when he tried to take the kick.
You look. I mean, we've not just had 11 injuries or 11 players out, but we've had some of our best players as well. Bruno, Isak, Botman are all out. Um, and then you've got some really good players like Barnes and Murphy. Obviously, Tonali suspended. I mean, we look at the players that we had out. That team would have absolutely pummeled Bournemouth.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a case of that there isn't another team in the Premier League that could take that number of injuries, especially taking your best players out as part of that. I don't care who. Man City could probably do it, but there's no one else.
Man City's got about 2 or 3 teams they could put out and just,
As I said, Man City could, but no one else. Liverpool couldn't. Arsenal definitely couldn't. Spurs couldn't. There is no one else. But it's not a case of we're not ready for the Champions League. We're just not ready for that number of injuries. And I mean, that's where the FFP has played its part, because if we've been able to buy sort of 4 or 5 more players, we wouldn't have the likes of Richie coming on or Dummett, Kraft. We'd have players of a higher standard that would help to keep us uh, um, playing the type and the strength of football we want to, and be able to rotate. The problem we've had is during this influx of injuries, we've not been able to rotate because we haven't had the players to rotate. And that is purely down to injuries, not the strength of the squad. And normally teams struggle when they get 4 or 5 injuries, let alone 11.
I mean, let me put this list on the screen. This is the injury list at the moment, and I mean, look, I know we said last week we weren't bothered about Bruno picking up his yellow card, but I'll tell you what, we could have done with him yesterday because he would have controlled that midfield for us yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think Bournemouth might not have got through as much as they did yesterday. So,
yeah.
But anyway, let me put this list up anyway. So there we are. There's the list. Okay. So on that list, Callum Wilson, hamstring, to be confirmed when his return is. Javier Manquillo, who can play right back and left back, has got a groin injury, to be confirmed. We don't know his return date either yet. Bruno suspended, he'll be back for the Chelsea game. Alexander Isak back after the international break. Sven Botman, that's saying potential return is December. Elliot Anderson, his lower back, Christmas. Dan Burn, Jacob Murphy, January 24. They've got Harvey Barnes down for January 24. Well, he's actually ahead of schedule, so I think they've got that one wrong, Sky. Matt Target is February 24, and obviously Tonali suspended until August 2024. So on that list there, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 players on that list, and that is absolutely scary when you see the amount of injuries. So look, if after the international break, we'll definitely have Bruno back. We should have Isak back, which is great news, and we may even have Harvey Barnes. Who knows? It depends how much training he gets in and how much he's there. Because apparently his bone's healed and he's torn now. So, and that was a freak injury against Sheffield United.
Yeah, they're saying that he might be back at the end of this month, which would be great. I mean, the only saving grace about this injury list is that apart from Tonali and Manquillo, he's unlikely to see the field, and obviously Target, most of them.
Sorry, Liverpool are one. Sorry, Liverpool are 1-0 up. Salah.
It's going to count this time. Apart from Tonali, Target, who else is there? And we don't know about Wilson. Everybody and Manquillo, who's really not unlikely to feature. Everyone should be back by January, by the end of January for the transfer window. So it's not going to be. The squad will be back to pretty much full strength then, going forward. But it's just unprecedented to have this many injuries. It's injuries is a problem, because if we didn't have the injuries, we'd be able to rotate more. And because the games are coming thick and fast, we've just not been able to rotate. So that's why everybody's being. You can see the energy is sapped, especially after the game against Arsenal, where they really. That's a brutal game, physically and mentally. It's difficult. I mean, we have to deal with it as best we can. I thought there were a couple of bright sparks yesterday. I thought Nick Pope was at his best. Even his footwork was good, which is important. I thought Lewis Miley, after a shaky start, I thought he played really, really well. Those were the sort of the main ones. They put the effort in. The effort was there. It's just that it's just, sometimes you get those games where it's nothing's going to work. You're struggling, and it's it's a tough loss because we are better than that. This is for the first time in a long time. I'm saying that this international break couldn't have come at a better time for us. And I'm so glad that the likes of Longstaff and Gordon didn't get called up, because they'll have 2 weeks where they're not actually playing. They'll still be training, but they're not actually playing, so they don't have that physical, that mental trauma. Or the mental. Trauma's not the right word, but the mental exertion of preparing for a games, and they won't have had to play. So they'll get a little bit of rest. So they'll come back on all cylinders afterwards. Hopefully, Sean's ankle isn't bad, because I must admit, when he went down, oh God, not another one. You could see the look on Eddie's face when Sean went down. It's almost like thinking, oh, blimey heck, not again after losing Miggy. I think the other thing that people got to bear in mind is that after 12 games last season,
it's 2-0 to Villa now, McGinn.
So after 12 games last season, we had 21 points and we finished fourth. This season, after 12 games, we had 20 points. So we're not far off the pace. So it's not like we're struggling at the bottom.
No.
Yeah, but we need, and I'm sure that we'll make some additions in January.
I mean, if for some reason we get out of this Champions League group and we go to the next round of the Champions League, then if I remember rightly, the Champions League then doesn't start up again until February. So you've got a break before that comes back.
And we'll have everyone back by then, apart from Tonali.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, we've got the 8 games in 24 days. This is the 8 games we got. So after the international break, we are at home to Chelsea, 3 o'clock kickoff. Now, you can't tell what sort of game this is because you don't know what sort of Chelsea's going to turn up. But I think we've got enough to beat Chelsea. Forest have just equalised, by the way, a 1-1. 1-1.
Especially
so we got Chelsea. Yeah. Then 3 days after Chelsea, we're away to PSG. Then on the 2nd of December, Saturday night, 8 o'clock, we've got Man United at home. Then on the 7th of December, Thursday night, we're away to Everton. Now, that won't be an easy game because Everton are on fire at the moment. And then on the 10th of December, 3 days later, we're away to Tottenham Hotspur, where the bubble has burst at the moment. And Anger's getting very angry because, they're starting to do the Spursy thing now by being 1-0 in the injury time. They're getting hammered and losing the game. So, he's got the Spurs. He's got the Spursy bit there in his blood now, has Anger. So they're starting to plummet a bit now. Then we are then we are at home to Milan on the 13th of December, 3 days later. Then 3 days after that, 3 o'clock kickoff, we're at home to Fulham. So at least we haven't got to travel. And then 3 days after Fulham, we've then got Chelsea away in the Carabao Cup. And then 4 days after that, we then play Luton Town away. And then on Boxing Day, we play Forest at home on a 12:30 kickoff. Look, from after the international break to Boxing Day, it's a hell of a busy schedule, Rolly.
Yeah.
And just hope we come out of that schedule with not many injuries.
I don't know why we've got that midweek, the Everton game midweek. It was a Premier League. Why they felt they had to have a midweek game in November?
It'll be Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I know, but because they have the ones. But it just seems because we haven't got the World Cup. Why do they need to cram so many games into the beginning of the season? Someone's decided it was a good idea. I mean,
tell you what, Rolly, you best go and ask Richard Masters why. If you can get his phone number or his email, give him an email, Rolly, and ask him why. See what answer you get off him.
You get no answer from him.
No. So, anyway, I agree with Bia here. The curse of the green shirt strikes again. You're absolutely spot on, Bia. I mean, look at last season. It took a long time to win with that green and white shirt last season, didn't it? And
we played, was it 3 games? How many games did we play in the green and white shirt? Brighton, was it Wolves? And last night, 3 games.
Yeah.
It's hardly a curse.
Yeah. Last season, the green and white shirt was a curse, and until we beat Everton with it on.
Yeah, we went most of the season without winning in that one. But 3 games, come on.
Mad Max says, my thoughts exactly as well, Bia. There you go. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. No, you're all right, mate. Nice to see you. Lewis is out the 25-man squad. We have 15 players out. It's bloody crazy.
Yeah.
To be fair, guys, I think we are dead set to win the Hospital League, says Via. Do you know what, Via? You're absolutely right. There's a Hospital League, we'll win that hands down, mate, by a landslide. Lewis says, something else that's crazy is Liverpool have a 16-year-old on the bench and his squad number's 98. Alan says also yesterday...
Liverpool hardly got any injuries, and they've got a 16-year-old on the bench. It shows that their squad's not that deep.
Alan says also yesterday, no Bruno, just seen something missing when he don't play. Should not be down to one player. It is what it is. It is that what Tony was bought for. Yeah, I mean, look, we did miss Bruno yesterday. Look, I did say I wasn't too worried that he was out, because I thought, well, at least if he's out of this game, at least he's not missing. At least he's got out the way of that suspension now. But yeah, we did miss him yesterday.
I think I know it shouldn't be down to one man, but you look at Liverpool, they're not the same team without Salah.
I'd make it to the list, yeah.
They're less potent without Salah. He makes a big difference for them. You look at Manchester United, though they're playing shite, they're even worse when Bruno Fernandes doesn't play or is playing badly. There are players that are pivotal to every team. Look at Manchester City when Rodri was injured or suspended. They didn't win. And look how good their squad is. There's always one player that makes a big difference to every team.
Man U scraped it yesterday, didn't they, against Luton Town? Yeah. Mad Max says, completely agree, Rolly. I say it as we are in the early stages of the takeover in the grand scheme of our owners' intentions. It's FFP hindering us. That is the thing. It is FFP hindering us, but this is because the fat controller who owned our club done things the totally wrong way, which he totally and utterly fucked up our FFP, because
it's not just
his idea of things was when he does a transfer, he doesn't take it in installments. He just pays it off in one go. So he thought that was the best way to go. Well, no, it's not, because you're scuppering with FFP doing that. And that's exactly what he's done. And then putting all these Sports Direct shite all over the stadium, as well as all these other companies like Flannels, House of Fraser, and things like that.
It was the lack of commercial revenue that hindered us with the FFP. And then the Premier League putting in, all of a sudden found this is the perfect time to put in new rules on sponsorship, like they're trying to do with the loan system. Oh, Newcastle have got loads of injuries. We'll do the loan. We'll put in a ban on loans between related clubs. Well, the thing about it is, by the end of January, we should have most of our players back, so it's not going to be as big a problem as it would right now. But they rush things through, and they say that it's we're going to do it anyway. It's nothing to do with Newcastle.
Right. It's all. So it's all right for Simon Jordan to sit there and say, well, it's got nothing to do with Newcastle. Well, yes, it has, Simon Jordan, because I'll tell you exactly why, right? Man City took Lampard from New York City. Who owns New York City? Manchester City owners do. Right. I'm not got a problem with that, okay? Watford, when they were last in the Premier League, they had about 6 or 7 players from Udinese. Who owns Udinese? The Pozzo family, who own Watford. Now then, was anything said back then by the so-called Big Six clubs? Oh, Watford are taking players from Udinese. They shouldn't be doing that, because that's not fair. That's not a fair advantage. They're not fair. No, because I'll tell you why the Big Six didn't complain about Watford. Because they looked at Watford and said, they'll not last in the Premier League. They'll be straight back down, so we couldn't care about them. They're not bothered about teams like Watford. They're bothered about us because they know the amount of money we have got behind us. And they know, with all these players that's gone to Saudi Arabia, that we could have our pick and take a player from there on loan. And that's why they're frightened. They are frightened. And this is why all these votings are coming out. As soon as our takeover went through and no Sports Direct signs were taken down by Amanda Staveley, Leicester City was the first one to kick off. Whoa, they can't have sponsorship. Oh, no. Hang on a minute, Leicester. What about you? Your sponsorship, your stadium is named after your owner's company. On your shirt, you got King Power after your owner's company. So, it stinks of corruption. It really does. And that's exactly what it is. They are frightened of us because we are on the verge of something big. And that is what they're scared of. They do not want us being there. They want to try and stop us and stop us from getting us big too quick. And that is the problem. They are trying to stop us. But I don't know how it's legal that you can actually force a restriction of trade. Like I've said, it'd be like, say, for instance, you've got like, say, for instance, you've got a local supermarket and so they're selling chocolates for Christmas Day, for instance. Hang on, so they're selling chocolates for Christmas, Rolly, and they run out. And all the other supermarkets in the area have different competitors, have all run out of the same chocolate. But this one particular supermarket goes on their computer. Oh, look. Well, the one in London, it's got 5 pallets worth. So if we get a couple of pallets off them, get them up here and we can sell them, and everybody else will just leave behind because we'll make more money. Now, they'll get them couple of pallets. Do you think the other supermarket competitors are going to go, hang on, that's not fair, you can't do that. You can't go to a supermarket somewhere else and bring them in and sell them, and while we'll struggle for sales for stuff? They're not going to say that. I know football's a different thing, Rory, but, you get where I'm coming from.
I've got a better comparison for this actually happened. If you remember Netto, when Netto came to the UK, and Aldi and Lidl, Tesco, Sainsbury's and Asda tried to stop them opening stores. So they actually took them to court and obviously got laughed out of court. And that's why you have Netto no longer exist because they got bought by Asda. Or Walmart here and Asda, but Aldi and Netto, Aldi and Lidl are still here and growing because they didn't want the competition, so they tried to stop them coming in and lost in court. I mean, they changed the rules on the on sponsorship from a aligned party, the company owned by your company, and they said you had to have a fair market value. Obviously, we've got Seller, we've got Moon on our sleeves. Now they're trying to say that on top of that, you've got to have a number which they haven't actually said what that number is of other bids of the similar value. Because we when you look at what we got from Seller, the deal we got, the fact that we qualified for the Champions League means that we probably got taken that at a lower figure than we should have done or could have done, because we got 25 million a year from Salah. Well, you think of all the exposure we get from our Champions League, as well as the number of times we're on TV and stuff like that. That we could have easily gotten 30, 35, and you could. There's an argument that is fair market value. They went at 25 because they knew that going in at 25, they can't complain because it's lower than the other so-called big clubs, but a lot higher. I mean, you had even people complaining, "Oh, it's sort of like 10 times more than your last sponsor," or whatever it was. Was it 5 times more than the last sponsor? Well, that's because we're being paid peanuts for it. They're trying everything. It's not going to work because we keep adding these little sponsors. We're doing the Man City model, lots of small sponsors which we can just get through. But it's no. It's,
I hope they don't get enough. I hope they don't get the number of votes, and I hope that gets kicked out, and then there will be stumped in. I mean, I'm just going to go through some comments. Ronald says, "Hi, Ronald. By the way, he says we were absolutely dog shit. Did not deserve anything out of the game. On a good note for sport this week, the champion of champions snooker is on. Excellent, Ronald. Yeah, we were shit yesterday, mate. Honestly, we were." Ronald says, "I hate the green shirt. When it was unveiled, I haven't changed my mind. I don't like the numbers on the back, the black numbers. I really don't. I think there should be white numbers like you do in Europe with them. They look better with the white numbers on."
Yeah, you can't see the green numbers. Numbers in black on green.
Lewis says, when Sean went down, Eddie's face was, "Oh shit, not another one." Yeah.
Yeah, no.
When we play Chelsea in the Cup, we will stay down in London because then we play Luton away 3 days later. That just makes sense, doesn't? In the stay. They'll probably go somewhere and use training facilities. Ronald says the placky arsehole Chelsea shit bin dipper sad Mac and bastards comment on more official accounts quicker than anybody who follows the tune is pathetic. Absolutely. Chelsea have had worse luck with injuries in the last 2 years, so we need to get on with it, says Foxy.
We're not talking about 2 years. We're talking about this season.
Lewis says, well, at least Bruno had a rest.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Just joined the stream. What's been going on? Basically, talking about the game yesterday. Look, not a great day at the office, was it, David? We didn't really do much. Bournemouth deserved that win, and rightly so. As much as I hate to say they deserved the win, that will probably be their best game of the season. They've had their FA Cup tie now. And because that's what it was like yesterday, an FA Cup tie. And I expect Bournemouth will be in that bottom three at the end of the season, and bye-bye to the Championship and good riddance to them as well.
Right,
and they can take that capacity of 11,000 with them as well. Ronald says, I'll read Tony Rowley and the chat. Yeah, absolutely fine, mate. Lewis says, no, because they're effing scared of us and don't like Newcastle. That's what's stopping us. If we lose, we take the Premier League to court again. David says, Simon Jordan is so wrong about that. Why didn't the Prem bring in the rule in at the start of the season? Why now? And must be a huge coincidence that we have an injury crisis and it's done now. This is a thing, David, right? Why in the middle of the season are we having these votes? These should be done at the beginning of a season. You can't just make the rules up as you go along. But remember, this is the cartel. But the thing is, though, the more the cartel, that's the Big Six and the Premier League, the more they do, eventually, because it'll happen one day, mark my words, it will happen one day. But, all the stuff that Keith Patterson knows, that he has on the Premier League and that cartel of the Big Six, all that evidence, if that ever comes to light, there will be police cars turned up at people's doors, giving them an early morning wake-up call. So and there'll be chairmen and owners being dragged into custody. But I'll tell you now, they can carry on the way they're going, but they ain't going to stop us. So this juggernaut keeps going. It's never going to stop. So they can throw roadblocks in the way, but we'll just burst through them roadblocks. And
it'd be interesting.
And we'll do it the rightful way.
I'd just be interesting to see whether the club or PIF in particular are looking at the legality of what they're doing, because we could end up with another with the restraint of trade angle. We could end up with another sort of Bosman type ruling for the younger guys people in the chat, you've obviously heard of the Bosman rule. That happened when I forget his first name. The second division player in Belgium wanted to leave the club, but the club wouldn't let him because in those days, the clubs held the contract, and if they didn't want you to go to another club, they wouldn't sell you. So they held on to the contract. It's the other way around. It's like you have players forcing moves away now, but back in the 70s, early 80s, before the Bosman ruling, it was the clubs that would be forcing players to stay. And it went to the European Court, and they found I think it's Jean-Marc Bosman, they found in his favour, so that once your contract runs out, the club couldn't force you to stay, which they used to be able to do. Now, if we go on a restraint of trade saying, look, we're doing trade, and they're stopping us because they say we can't do this, we can't do that, I'm sure it's on very shaky legal grounds if we actually wanted to go at it.
I don't think it's legal, to be fair. I don't think it is, but you know, it is just one of those, isn't it? It's a bit of a grey area, and I don't think they should. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, you're right. It was Jean-Marc Bosman who who got this through the court. That was back in '95. He won that case, you know. But it just changed the way footballers were employed. Just meant they could, you know, move. And you can understand why he wanted that rule in as well. Obviously, he never played for Belgium the full Belgian team, played for the under-21s, but that was about it.
Some Fox's comment there.
There should be a rule that stops you taking players from clubs associated with you, whether it's bad for us or not. It doesn't matter. Too many clubs take advantage of it. And he's absolutely right, there is. I mean, you look at Chelsea, they're loaning players left, right and centre to Strasbourg.
Yeah, I don't think the problem isn't so much that the rule or that they shouldn't be able to do it. It's very coincidental that the moment that people are talking about Newcastle getting Ruben Neves on loan to cover Tonali, they rush it through. Oh, we need to do it now. When they haven't been bothered about Man City or Chelsea or Strasbourg or Watford and Udinese, all of a sudden they think, oh, we need to do it now. We need to do it. We need an emergency motion to do it now. It's too coincidental for it to not be about us. That's the issue I have. Changing the rule, I don't have a problem. Do it at the beginning of the season. If it was so important for them to do it, why did they do it in the meeting they had before the season started? And all these players were going to Saudi.
Yeah.
And even then, people saying, "Oh, maybe if they get Mbappe, we can get him back on loan." And it wasn't urgent then.
No.
When people were letting us loaning players who have gone to Saudi back, but it is now. What's happened in the 3 or 4 months since then? Oh, we've got loads of injuries and had a player suspended for 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the rules. I agree. The rule probably it needs changing, but it's just the way they go about. Even if it's not about us, which is a possibility, they're making it look like it's about us.
Of course they are, Rolly. Mad Max says, we aren't just any United. This is Newcastle United. Absolutely, mate. Gary says, hi, Gary Douglas. You all right, mate? He says, as other channels have said, they should not change the rules in the middle of the season, lads. No, absolutely not, Gary.
Yeah, I think
absolutely not.
That's the big beef. Why now? If it was okay at the beginning of the season for us to loan players from Saudi, of course they started buying really good players now, and then we've got a need. So let's do it now rather than the end of the season. It just really reeks.
Oh, fuck's sake, BF Aiken. Jesus Christ. He says, even if we signed Oscar Pistorius, he'd be out with a foot problem. Okay, LBR, honestly, Jesus Christ. Still a decent shot on him. Oh, gone, Mad Mac.
Oh, dear.
Oh, bloody hell, boys. Gary says Newcastle could bring in Nick DeMarco to fight this rule change. I think there will be legal action against it if they do bring it in. I just hope the clubs don't. I just hope enough clubs say, do you know what? Well, we know one club who will not vote, and that be Man City. So that'll be definitely one club not voting.
The thing about it,
they abstained the last time.
Yeah, it affects more than one club. There are quite a few clubs that have this multi-club system. So some of the teams they have aren't massive, but it potentially could affect more than just us and Man City. So of the big clubs, I think Liverpool are one of the few that haven't got sort of like a multi-club system, but most of them have. So it's not a foregone conclusion that they will get the 14 votes. Though I expect them to.
No,
you get them, but it's not a foregone conclusion.
It's like David says, the trouble with the courts is it take forever to do anything by them. We won't need to do it. Yeah. Ronald says we could have done with Quasimodo running away with the balls yesterday. Piss off, I haven't got your balls. I mean, look, actually, yeah, there's a point I want to talk about. Now you've brought that into consideration. Right. Bournemouth, I think there need to be a word said to them from somebody in the Premier League, maybe, because yesterday, their ball boy or ball girls, whoever they are, they need to be bloody replaced as well. Because every time there was a throw-in for us, another ball was chucked on the pitch on purpose. And it happened all the time through the game.
It happened several times.
And the thing is, I think the Premier League, if they've looked at this, or the referees looked at this, you need to say to somebody high up, look, you need to have a word with Bournemouth and say, look, once somebody's got a ball, you do not throw another one on the pitch. And that just seemed to be a time-wasting tactic they were doing yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bournemouth, disgusting me over that. Lewis says maybe it's because he's coming from Saudi Arabia. But I think...
can I just go back the two balls on the pitch? I do remember, I think it was in the summer series in the US, there was one time when Nick Pope went to clear the ball and cleared it, and he was right by the touchline. So he actually kicked one of the balls onto the pitch because they're going to take the throw in quickly to stop play. But the way, I can remember 3 or 4 times them doing it in attacking positions, and it's just thinking, what are they doing that deliberate? I mean, have they been told to do that, or is it something they did on their own? But yeah, it does need to. Once, okay, but when it happens sort of 3 or 4 times, it's not coincidence.
Yeah. Foxy says, issue of Forest as well, recently signing players and then going straight to Olympiacos, unfair on the rest of the league in Greece. Yeah, absolutely, Foxy. I mean, they've done that last season with like Josh Bowler when they signed him from Blackpool, they sent him on loan to Olympiacos, you know.
I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if this rule is just for incoming loans only.
Yeah. Lewis says, I probably agree on this because you know what the Premier League is like. Ronald says, the Southern Press used to always unsettle our gems for bigger teams for decades. Now the FA, when the press can't do that anymore, we can see you for what you are. Absolutely.
It's the Premier League, not the FA.
Yeah, well, the FA still own the leagues.
Yeah, but it's the Premier League that's setting the rules.
Yeah, but the FA can overrule them at any time, Rolly.
Yeah, no, they can, but they don't because the Premier League's where the money is. But and
obviously, Prince William has the biggest say in the FA, doesn't he? Because he's the president. So,
no, it's a ceremonial role. I doubt it's like the head of state, like the king. He doesn't actually decide anything. He just shows up.
Well, do you remember when Capello got sacked from England in that chief executive Brian Barwick was in charge. Yeah, they reckon William told him to get out and sacked him. That was the rumour going around anyway. William went in and sacked him because he said he was useless, wasn't good enough. And I think that's when Dan Ashworth came in, because it was William who got Dan Ashworth in, apparently. So, you know what? I think Dan Ashworth's pulled a blinder here, because I think what Dan Ashworth's done is he's actually said that on purpose to see if the Premier League are going to see anything. And bang, there's a panic now. There's a vote going on. Some people said, should Dan Ashworth have said nothing? But I think he's done. I think he's pulled a blinder.
I mean, so with the Prince William, he's got more important things to do than get involved with the runnings of the FA.
Yeah, but he has got a lot. He has got a lot to say there. Yeah, but he has got a say there, though. That's the thing. So
yeah, I really can't see it. I mean, he's with his role.
Obviously, he's got his box at Villa as well, hasn't he? So
it supports Villa.
So yeah, he's a Villa fan. Yeah. Yeah, why do you support Villa, William? What's so good about Villa, mate? You know, you could have supported the tune and come up to Newcastle.
Maybe it's probably because it's not Villa fans or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. He's a Villa fan before he met her, but he's got a box there. He's probably there this afternoon, actually.
Maybe Panini gave him a load of stickers, and he got a lot of Aston Villa players. Yes. He liked the name and the strip, a bit like me when I chose to support Newcastle.
Ronald says it was before May time, and before May time as well, Ronald. I understand it was when the Heat was voted out of the league. At the time, they were unfairly being treated up north. I don't remember a lot about it, but I have heard that there was something dodgy about it anyway.
Because, I mean, there was a time before you got promotion from the National League into League Two, where the bottom team in what was then the fourth division would go for re-election, and all the other clubs would re-elect them. So there's essentially no relegation. And then they changed it to, it's probably in the 90s that one club would come up from the National League. It's two now through the playoffs. But it's like teams like Rochdale stayed in the Football League for decades because they just kept getting re-elected when they're finishing bottom of the fourth division.
Yeah. Absolutely, Rory. Right. I remember Pope doing that now, Rory. Thanks for that. Do you know what that was, Rory? Was that about the balls? Was it?
That's about kicking the ball on to stop and taking the quick throw in. He got booked for it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Right. Foxy says, what a goal from Simon and Dingra for Brighton. So they must be winning. Who was playing in the Belgian league last season? What a place to be. What a league. Do you know what? This is what I'm saying. I do not know why Rory keeps coming out with this. Oh, it's the Belgian league. How do you know they can't cut it in the Premier League? I mean, look.
It's
we need the gift.
It's basically, when you look at though the French league is rated lower than the Belgian league, reliably informed by Foxy. When you look at the record of French players coming into the Premier League and being a success compared to Belgian leagues coming in and being a success straight away, the French win hands down. I'm not saying that Belgian players are bad. I'm just not a big. I don't rate the league. Once you get outside of the sort of like the main leagues, Spain, obviously the Premier League, La Liga, not La Liga, La Liga, Serie A, the Bundesliga, then there's a big drop off in quality. The Eredivisie you go to next, then it's probably the Belgian league. I will bow to Foxy's superior knowledge on the Belgian and French leagues, that the Belgian league is better than the French. But the French have a track record of producing players. not just the players that have performed in the Premier League, they've come straight over, but the under 21s, they've been much more successful at World Cups than Belgium, even though Belgium produced some fantastic players. You look at the team that had at the last World Cup, didn't even get out the group stages. I'm sure that's more due to personnel dynamics and actual ability. It's more, I have more confidence in the French league developing players than I do in the Belgian league. There's some players that a lot of the good Belgian players have either gone to different leagues, like you look at Ottoman. Well, he's Nigerian, but he played in the Belgian league. He went to France before he went to Napoli. Even Matoma spent a couple of years in the reserves at Brighton before he hit the scene. They don't translate immediately into the Premier League. You look at, we bought Johan Cabaye from, was it Lyon? And he was a hit straight away. Then after, there's another one that came in straight away, was really good. David Ginola. That's the angle I come from. There are more French players that come over and cut it in the Premier League straight away than Belgian players. The Belgian players need more development. So,
he has a striker we need in January just to help us out, and maybe we could get him on loan with a view to a permanent transfer in the summer. Who knows? I'm going to put him on screen, Rolly, because I think he'd be terrific for us.
It's Gift Orban, is it?
There you go. The gift that keeps on giving.
Well, he's had an extra season and playing.
He's worth 21 million. He's 21 years of age, Rolly, and he started 6 out of 10 games a season. He's only scored 3 goals a season, so far. But you prepare. But going back to last season, his stats last season, he started 14 games out of 16, scored 15 goals, and got 2 assists.
Yeah.
The lad's a goal machine. As he's seen on that picture, he scored 4 goals and he got the match ball.
I mean, I know it's only YouTube scout, but I've seen after you first mentioned it, I went and watched some of the clips of his goals. And I mean, that's part of the reason I was looking at this Belgian league that I don't rate it. Is the defending was shambolic. I mean, you're talking like League One level defending. I'm not saying the guy.
Foxy's in the chat.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's good to have a ding dong with Foxy over this, but I mean, it's possible that there's always an exception to the rule. But a lot of the really good Belgian players have gone somewhere else after. But look at Kevin De Bruyne. When he went to Manchester City, he wasn't good enough, so they sent him out on loan. So it's Chelsea that sent him out on loan. Then they sold him to Man City.
Then he went to Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
On a transfer, yeah.
Yeah, and before he went to Man City and was really, really good. That's what I mean about the development of players. The Belgian produce really good players, but they need to go somewhere to actually to realise their potential.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point I'm making. It's the development of players.
Yeah.
I mean, and I still stand by that.
Anyway, Bias says Prince William got caught having an affair and being pegged by a madame, hence the Prince of Pegging title.
I've not heard that, but
Lewis says, "What do you think? What do you think about the meeting on how Newcastle are banned from that attendance? Do you think that's a bit fishy? It's not right, is it?"
Which meeting's that one?
The one for the vote for the players.
Well, how can they ban us for the meeting?
Yeah, because we're a member of the Premier League.
Yeah, I know they tried to do it.
That stinks.
Yeah, if that's true, that stinks.
King Charles supports Burnley, says Pierre. I thought you'd follow Horsham. I know what he means by that.
Yeah.
Camilla, she looks like a horse, doesn't she? Although it's her only secret crush, really. Lewis says a VAR check for a possible red card for Liverpool.
Oh,
Alaves are winning 1-0 against Barcelona at the Nou Camp. I would put my house on that. Daniel Levy's behind it. Do you know what? I would as well. It's got to be. He's got to be behind it because that bloke is just an absolute cock. I can't stand that bloke. I really can't. Daniel Levy. He's not even he's not. He doesn't even own Tottenham Hotspur. You know, and he acts like he's the owner of Tottenham Hotspur, and he doesn't even own them. You know. So the guy's just a muppet. He really is an absolute muppet. Gary says all home teams are winning apart from West Ham 1-1 with Forest. Yeah, no red card Liverpool. Barca conceded after 1 minute. Oh, for God's sake. Ginola likes a tab. I bet an player smokes under Eddie House, says Ronald.
I think the days of players smoking are long gone. Well, Jack Wilshere
Gary says he looks like Rod Hullett. Gift or ban. Oh. There hasn't been good defending in Belgium since Waterloo, says Bia.
And that was the British as well.
Bia says we're not banned from attending the meeting. It's a shareholders meeting. That's just Lewis reading crap. Yes. He says no, it's true. Look. Oh, Forest are 2-1 up, by the way. And it's now 2-2. West Ham's just equalised through Jared Bowen from a corner. So Forest have conceded straight away. Forest are having a better season this season, aren't they, really? Elanga scored for Forest, but they've equalised West Ham. So a Ward-Prowse corner.
I'm flicking between all the games. So.
Yeah, good corner from Ward-Prowse, and yeah, Bowen got on the end of it. Good leap from Bowen, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, he leapt like a salmon. Ronald says the bin dippers and Salah 2-0. Yeah, it was a bin dipper who scored 2 against us yesterday as well. Solanke. It was not really a great striker because when we were linked with him, I thought, oh, for God's sake, please don't buy him. I don't want him. He's shit. He's dog shit.
He's done okay. It's not. He's not in a strike at the level that we'd want.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's on side. Oh.
McWhirter.
Just watching the Liverpool goal, it's one of those ones that's right on the line. Looks like it's going out, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
it's quite similar to. It wasn't as close as Willock's one, but it was right on the line.
Ronald says a quick VAR check for the bin dip as about the ball gun is a matter of seconds. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's clear, it wasn't out.
Arteta yesterday says, it was great to see VAR working well, wasn't it? I thought, yeah. You're happy when it goes for you, but when it goes against you, you want to cry like a baby. Oh, wetter. Look, yesterday...
From that angle,
trying to pick out a man of the match yesterday. Look, there's not really a lot going, is there, for a man of the match from us?
It's easy.
Look, this guy played all right yesterday. I thought Joe Willock done okay. He did.
It's very frustrating.
He did sort of get through. Yeah, he did sort of. Villa's 3-0 up, by the way. Watkins has just scored. But look, he did try. He got through the 2 defenders, but he just didn't have any help really. So he's a bit isolated, but I thought he played okay, and he's getting his fitness back, Joe Willock, which is great to see. But my man of the match yesterday is actually Nick Pope, believe it or not.
Well, it's an
Yes, I
easy
said he
choice.
probably could have done better on the first goal. He maybe could
I
have. He
think you're
maybe
being
looks at
harsh.
that himself and think. He maybe looks at that himself and thinks, "Yes, I could have done more."
Being harsh on that
But
one, but there
but
you
I
go.
thought he made some great saves, which helped keep the score down. So Nick
Yeah.
Pope is my man of the match. Who's yours, Rolly?
Oh, Nick Pope by a country mile. Though I do think that an honourable mention needs to go to Jamal Lascelles and Lewis Miley. I thought Lascelles was really good. There's one time, some of the last minute challenges he made in the box to block shots when Fabio Show had one of his worst games since the Bruce era. That was one time you could see him shouting at him, "What you doing?" But
Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, I say I thought that Miley was excellent. After he was very nervous in the first like 5-10 minutes or so, giving the ball away a lot, but he grew into the game and was really stout defensively, nicking the ball away, and his passing was on point. I thought he had a really good game. I thought that Lascelles had a good game. I thought Matt Ritchie was decent when he came on. But everybody else was below par.
Yeah.
I think Sean Longstaff wasn't too bad. It is probably the best of the off-par players. But say Trips had a stinker for him. But it is what it is. We move on. We've got a couple of weeks rest, which is well needed, and then we go again.
Mad Max says it's Ania playing for Forest. He looks a canny little player. Yes, he is playing. He's playing it right back for them. Ronald says Pope was Warp best player, but not brilliant.
I thought
man, the match for me is Nick Pope. It could have been 10 to Bournemouth, says Lewis.
I thought his
Mark
football
was
so much better yesterday as well, and his distribution, which hasn't been great. I thought he was really good.
Yeah. Right. Anyone see Shelby's wonder goal? Not playing for Forest today, is he? Or was that for the reserves for Forest, was it? Is he done? Oh, no, he's not. He's playing in Turkey now. He's on loan from Forest. He's playing for Kaikir Rizpor. That was a great bit of business when we got rid of Shelby.
Yeah. Especially as we'd had to give him a new contract if he played 2 more games.
For the Turkish team, yeah. I haven't seen it, but I'll have to have a look and we'll check it out. And is it a good goal? Is it? We'll see if we can. See if it's in there. If I can see the goal, I'll have a look. And I'll tell you if it was a good goal. Well, it must be a good goal because just got to wait for a silly advert to go off at the minute, and I'll probably share it as well. Then I'll probably get into trouble, but never mind. Come on, advert, hurry up and finish. How is this?
Brighton have had a red card. Don't know who it is.
Have they really?
Yeah. Dahoud. Never heard of him. They're down to. It says Dahoud. Dahoud. Never heard of him.
Right. Oh, yes, I've just seen the goal. What a goal that is. It's, yeah, good goal. I'll show you it in a minute. Hang on. I'll just let this, let's have to let this one play off a minute. And then, right, okay. Right. Bear with me, guys. And then if you haven't seen the goal, you can have a look at it now. Um,
Oh, it's like Harry Kane.
good goal, wasn't
Yeah.
it? David Beckham. There you go. There's a better view of it. Inside his own half. Good goal.
Mm.
BS says, who's going to mention the risk of recalling my feet? No. No, we don't want the poisoned wolf back. You can stay where he is. That's what he is. He is championship quality. He is not Premier League. So no. Apparently, if Isak's not fit, we've got a volunteer who'll play up front as a striker and probably score more goals. Martin Dubravka, get up front. At least he can kick a football.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sheffield United just equalised.
But I think in January, I think it's a good idea if we do recall him back from Feyenoord. I'm not against
I'm
it.
not so sure because we'll have most
Hi,
of our
Rolly.
players back. We'll have most of our players back January.
Yeah, but why not, Rolly? He doesn't take up a
Let him
Premier League
develop.
space.
I know, but let him develop at Feyenoord. He's doing great there. If we've got the players
Yeah,
back, what's the rush? If we've got most of our players back, let them develop at Feyenoord and come back at the beginning of the season, get a full Eddie Howe season, pre-season, get that fitness up because they play at a different pace in the Eredivisie as well. So I would leave him there if we don't desperate if we got the injuries are still there and we can't get the loans in, maybe, but just leave him where he is because he's a development project.
Eddie says he's under consideration to recall him back in January.
Yeah, it's under consideration, but they're not going to make a decision until they see what they've got, who they've got back from injury.
But then
That
you can
will
always bring him
determine
back.
whether they bring him back or not.
You can play him in an FA Cup game, and he can start coming off the bench, and who knows? He could be a hidden gem.
Well, he is, but I don't think we'll bring him back unless we actually need to.
He's been back in Newcastle. He's been getting his injury assist.
Yeah. So I think they're really pleased with his development, but are they going to risk stunting his development? Because if everyone's back, he's not going to play that much. Where he's playing regularly at Feyenoord.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll wait and see.
Yeah. We'll see. It will depend on what the actual the fitness situation is with our players. If some of these players are supposed to be coming back in January or not, don't come back, then they'll bring him back. Otherwise, they'll leave him where he is. But they don't have to make a decision now anyway.
No. David says Brighton stink this season, and De Hout is from Dortmund. De Hout was a dirty one against us in pre-season. I remember him now. Sheffield United have equalised. A belter, that says Ronald. Adam Webster own goal. 3-0 Liverpool. I'll send you the video of the red card from Brighton. It depends on how many can stay injured free, lads. Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
And I've said, okay, Lewis, I'll have a little later. I mean, yeah, thank you very much indeed. Um, yeah. So look, yesterday was a bad day at the office. The lads look knackered. I think it's caught up with us, and I think the international break has definitely come at the right time. That's why I do like these international breaks, because it gives you a bit of a rest and reset, and that's exactly what it'll do for us. West Ham have made a change now. They took Alvarez off and brought on Antonio against his old club Forest, seeing if he can score for West Ham. But yeah, so like I say, we're not happy about the defeat, but don't worry, we'll get them back when they come to St James's Park. We'll smash them. Don't worry about that. Jota scored for Liverpool, by the way, the third goal. If you have liked what you see, please do smash that like. It does help the channel. So if you haven't yet smashed that like, then please do. Thank you. If you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe, be part of this great community. And also that bell notification will let you know when I'm live, have a pre-record, or when the upcoming shows. Time to shine, Jeff Hendrick. Batman shaped light above Sheffield. Send the big man back. Well, he's no longer he's not our player no more now, is he? Because he's out of contract at the end of the season. So bye Hendrick.
I was thinking that when the tickets for the away end were sent out for the Bournemouth game, I wouldn't be surprised I had a little message at the bottom: "Bring your boots, you might get a game."
Yeah. If you get a chance, have a look at Abdullah Fatou, who plays for Leicester. Would be magic under Eddie. Abdullah Fatou. Abdul Fatou Isaku. He plays for Leicester, yeah. You thought it was a joke, Rolly, did you?
No, I was just reading the next comment.
Oh, okay. So Abdul Fatou Isaku, if we look at these stats for this season, he's 19 years of age. He's a Ghanaian. He's from Ghana. Left-footed. Plays on the right wing. His value is 4.1 million euros. He started 8 out of 12 games, scored 1 goal and 1 assist. Okay. Can we take David McCreary to retirement this season? Yeah, what a player he was. McCreary, when he was a good player.
Yeah.
Good old David McCreary. Gary says the question is how many players will be back after the break? I think at least 2, Gary. I reckon. Well, we definitely got back. Bruno back. Isak should be back. Maybe Barnes, so that could be 3 back. Who knows? Who knows?
By the end of the month, yeah.
We'll see how many comes back, but I'm sure the break will do us a world of good. Bourne was offside there anyway, if he'd put that in the back of the net. So, guys and girls, it's been a great day, and obviously the game yesterday wasn't so great, but, we can't win them all, unfortunately, and, maybe the Champions League is catching up. Who knows? But anyway, I'm not sure what I've got coming up this week, but there might be a couple of shows this week, but I'll definitely be doing a vlog on Friday. I might even do a live when I'm down there at Wembley, because I'm at Wembley on Friday night. For England versus Malta. Let's hope to see quite a few goals in that game, at least 5. So I'll be down at Wembley for that. I'm in the front row, not far away from the dugout. Well, just along from the dugout, so I'll probably see players. Ask Alan if he wants to play again. Yeah. Mad Max says he looks really comfortable on the ball. Right attitude, age could be moulded into something good. Yeah, absolutely. He's got time to develop, that's for sure. But I can't say Leicester let him go this season. 5, Malta won't win by that much, Tony. No, I mean England will score at least 5 against Malta. If we do the job that we did against Macedonia when we beat them 7-8-0, wasn't it? 7-8-0. Can't remember what the score was now. Can't remember now, really, but I know it was a big score against them because this was the same team. This was a team that we beat them 7-0. That's right. North Macedonia, we beat them 7-0. The team that stopped Italy qualifying for the last World Cup in Qatar when they beat them 2-1. It's a team that Italy always struggle against. Now Southgate ball, for fuck's sake. I want you to be about 5 or more goals to England. Yeah, I think it should be Lewis against Malta. No disrespect to Malta. And Harry Kane's on fire at the minute. He scored another 2 yesterday in the Bundesliga, taking his tally to 17 goals already this season. Top scorer in the Bundesliga last season got 16 goals. So Harry Kane has absolutely smashed it. He really is a quality striker, Harry Kane, let's be honest. And I know a lot of fans out there said, I wouldn't have him because he's 30 years of age and he's got... Do you know what? I would have had him. If our FFP was fine, what a save by the Forest keeper there. A hell of a save off Souček. But if our FFP was a lot better than it was, I would love us to have had Harry Kane because he is a quality striker. And he's proven it in the Bundesliga. He's absolutely ripping it up over there. He's doing really well over there, and apparently he's really enjoying it over there. He loves it there. So, because everybody thought it was a risk when he went to the Bundesliga, and they were thinking, why are you going to like Bayern Munich and that, but he's proved why he wanted to go there. And as Thomas Tuchel said, Bayern Munich went out at all costs to get him in, so they weren't giving up. I mean, look at 11. He started 11 games, scored 17 goals, and got 5 assists already.
Jesus.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Well, Tottenham Hotspur could have done with him.
Yeah, it's not unbelievable. He's playing in a really good side, so he's getting the chances. Where at Spurs, a lot of his goals he had to make himself. Well, they're fair proportion and say a lot of them.
Gary says Newcastle lasses playing Nottingham Forest girls 19th of this month at the City Ground. Nice one. They're doing well at the minute, aren't they? Lewis says because he would love it if you can drink a lot of beer. So, guys and girls, thank you very much for coming on today. And as I say, we all know what today is. This weekend, it's we will remember them, absolutely. The scenes yesterday in London were shocking, absolutely disgusting. English Defence League, Tommy Robinson and his gang, and then the Palestinian group as well, who started some trouble as well. Should never have happened yesterday, should never have been on this weekend. I think the Met Police got this totally and utterly wrong. Yes, you can't stop the right to a protest, but come on, have a bit of sentiment, please. These people gave their lives for this country. And, if it wasn't for these guys, we'd all be speaking German.
Yeah, I mean, the Palestinian protest, they deliberately did it at a different time. They did it in the afternoon. They didn't want to clash with the remembrance by the Western Front Association. So they did that deliberately. It's just that all these bigots and racists decided that they were going to come and cause trouble, as they always do.
Ronald says, I turned the Spurs and Liverpool women games off earlier today. It was bloody awful. Enjoy the rest of your evening, lad, says Lewis. Yeah, thank you very much indeed, mate. Yeah, so everybody on this Remembrance weekend, enjoy whatever you're doing for the rest of the day. Enjoy the City game if you're going to watch that. Hopefully they'll smash Chelsea to bits. Hopefully Jeremy Docker. Oh, West Ham have just scored. And it's Tomáš Souček has scored right at the death, yeah. So 87th minute with a header.
Is it from the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just about to take the corner from my on my stream.
Yeah. Oh, you're behind me then, aren't you?
Hmm.
Yeah. I wouldn't rule out Forest getting an equaliser though.
It's been one of those. It's been that sort of game.
And Aguerd's on the floor, injured. So, yeah. Apparently, Tim Robinson, the referee at the Wolves game, got a lot of credit yesterday because they said he was brilliant. Yeah, if it wasn't for these lads, we may not be here, lads. Absolutely. Tommy's right, to be fair, says David. Most of the people hate the UK in our history we will remember.
I totally
Ronald says
disagree with that comment.
English Defence League doesn't exist and we were peaceful at the cenotaph. Let's stop watching the BBC, folks. That wasn't on BBC, actually, it was on Sky that said that. But yeah, that was only what I read, by the way. I didn't even see the news, if I'm honest with you. It's only what I read. Was when it came up on my notifications. But anyway, that's us off now. But yes, there will be something during the week, but we'll sort out what we're going to do during the week. But until then, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white. Bye bye from me.
That's goodbye from me.
Away the lads.